It's the final league match of the inaugural season of the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship. Our players from Group B have one more chance to accumulate as many points as possible to get them onto the final table. It's going to depend not only on their performance, but also the results of the other players in the group. It's going to be a tense conclusion to the league.
Always picking on the young guys.
It's always left to pick on anymore. For me to get through, I'm just going to think about winning, and I've got to go for it in that aspect.
I've got my destiny in my own hands, so that's a good feeling. I'm in second, bro. I need nothing.
I've obviously guaranteed a spot. I can put my other opponent to the test.
Wow, a winner pot with Evgenia. Is it actually possible? It's the first pot I've ever won against you in my life.
2 or 3 outcomes put me through, so I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to be like banging. I'll just spite bust you if you start bullying me. I don't really care about going through.
I'm probably like a slight underdog. So if I win, I'm guaranteed a seat.
You're such a nit in these spots.
I have to win this match in order to move on to the finals, but I've been in the spot before, and I look forward to playing. Did you see my cards? No. Because you've been spot on every single time.
I get owned by Timoshenko again.
I'm not playing the dynamics, my friend. Playing to win.
Never ends, does it? You will have to show me when I call you down. They just keep trying to rob you. Did I lose like 50k in that hand?
I'm refusing free money, I know. I've never done this in my life.
I wish I could see the gears moving inside of Yevgeny's head.
I'm impressed, man. I'm showing you way too much respect today.
I'm a pigeon, I'm not taking it. I'm not going to look even more owned on TV.
Andrew Feldman leading this charge with 18 points. Andy Frankenberger on 14, but with his double-up card in hand. Mike Sexton on 9, Sorel on 8, Ben Carpenter on 4, and Yevgeny Timoshenko only 1 point, but a double-up card to play.
It's the final chance for Group B's players to accumulate chips for the final table. And the pressure is on. 2 players that are using their double-up cards are Andy Frankenberger and Yevgeny Timoshenko. So, Andy, you've been the big winner so far, but it's not quite all locked up for you yet.
No, it's not locked up. It would sure be a bad fall if I don't make it, but I'm glad I saved it to the last day. It helped my thinking all along, so I'm glad that I waited.
And Yevgeny, describe how it changes your game right now that you've saved it to the last heat here.
I think saving the double-up card is kind of like having a positional advantage, because you get to know how many points each player has, and you get to know what their strategy is coming into the last match, whereas if you use it early on, you're kind of at the mercy of the cards and you're just playing dead, and you actually give other players an opportunity to go after you because they know that you can't come in one of the first 3 spots, otherwise you're suddenly at a big disadvantage.
Okay, well, good luck to all the players.
3 seats still available at the final table. 3 of these players will take it. 2 seats, really, because Andrew Feldman has already locked up his. And, James, when you look at the way the draw went, who's happy, who's not with how the seating draw turned out?
Well, I think without a doubt, Ben Carpenter's got the best of this. Andrew's on his left, who doesn't need to do anything. He's got Mike down there, who plays tighter. And then the guys in front of him, like Sorel and Yevgeny, who need to do something. He can see what they're going to do before he plays a hand.
So maybe that's fair, because he's got the most to do. Like, I mean,
yeah,
Ben Carpenter get through, it's going to be a miracle almost.
Yeah, he's up against it. I mean, he's got to go all out, and expect to see him play pretty fast from the first hand.
Andy Frankenberger there in the black leather, calling a raise from Sexton first hand. And Frankenberger's been kind of the talk of like the entire mixed game championship on the sidelines.
Yeah, you know, some people don't think he's all that. He's not, you know, he doesn't deserve the results he's got, but he keeps bringing out these results. And again, here he's 14 points and hasn't used his double card. Yeah, I mean,
he's destroyed them all.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, he's making people play badly. You know, people keep giving him chips. He's not doing anything.
For Mike Sexton here, what does this say to you? Jack Deuce on the button, very first hand. Is this what you expected? The C-bet?
Well, I wasn't necessarily expecting him to get away from the first hand, but obviously he knows he doesn't want to, you know, let it happen to him. He wants to make his own destiny here, and he knows that if he gets towards the top of the table, he goes through.
Have you ever heard the theory where, like, it's something, I'm sure you've heard this, Andy, like where, like, you open a door, like say you're on a game show, and there's 3 doors, and you open one door.
You always, that's easy.
Yeah, that one?
You always
like,
switch.
I've had 10 people.
Always. No, but there's a very easy way of thinking about that.
Just the Monty Hall problem, I think they're discussing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite easy. Actually, once you, it is quite easy. You do always, of course, you always switch.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. You have to switch. It changes your odds from this is 33 to 50.
Yevgeny's thinking, yeah, I was 6 when I heard this and figured it out on my own. I can't believe that is exactly what went through his head.
Yeah,
he read that in a logic book at the age of 6 when they tested to see just how smart he was, and he can't believe that some people have gotten to this age and don't know it.
I think he might have even written the book at the age of 6.
He might have. He was watching the game show and called in.
Yeah.
How? Okay, so explain how it goes. So you pick one door, and then it's not there.
Anyway, he's raised here in
and he asks you
the cutoff and sections. Just called with the ace-jack from the big blind. What do you think? A standard, or it could have gone either way? Or
yeah, I think that's fine. He doesn't want to, he's got a fairly tight image. If he raises with the ace-jack, Yevgeny's going to fold all the better hands. So I think it's fine to flat there and try and get some value once if he can hit a flop.
And how often, if you're Timoshenko, are you barreling? Well, that's the best card in the world to check back, right?
Well, now he's bet the flop, being called. Now he's turned a pair. I'd expect him to bet here. Obviously, there's a slight concern with the diamonds, but he figures he has to have the best hand now, and he needs to protect the hand. There's a straight draw, flush draw.
Say 3-bet 16,000.
Do you think he would have bet a lot of blanks? I mean, he would have bet.
Yeah, there'd definitely be some cards he'd bet. I wouldn't necessarily blanks. The higher the card, the better, I think. At this point, he's probably thinking Mike's got the kind of hand he had, an ace with a big card or some pairs, pocket pairs.
40,000.
And this is quite interesting. I mean, Timoshenko, is he prepared that Mike could be doing this sort of move with this hand? Is that something that Timoshenko is got in his?
I think he was betting here, hoping that Mike would call or fold. He didn't pretty mind which, and I can't really see him proceeding now. I think Mike's hurting this, but I can't see Yevgeny giving him the credit to be bluffing on level 1. And it's a lot of chips at this point. If he calls here, what's he going to do on the river?
I just feel like Timoshenko had so many reasons to check behind. He's relying on Mike to be too reliable, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, Mike's come to play. This is pretty clear. I mean, maybe Timoshenko would be wrong and call, but I think if I was in his shoes here, I'd be folding.
And right now, his 2 options are call or fold. I mean, call and say, well, if he's got the heart to bluff on the river, then I can lay it down. I'll just call and see what comes.
Yeah, there's those, but there's also the situation where he might just call and a scare card might come off, so he doesn't lose any more chips. If Mike somehow had a bigger pair or something.
Well, the raise is not huge. It's 24,000. I mean, Timoshenko's, got over 200 back, and he is in position. So, you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to second guess this guy.
Look how concerned he looks.
Wow.
It's amazing how Timoshenko, when you raise him, like you've stolen something from him. Yeah. He's like.
Oh, here we go. Look, Mike has given up.
Look at the look on Timoshenko's face. You raised me? Are you mad?
This is an odd spot. He probably wasn't expecting to make a second pair. He's trying to think what hands would Mike check raise the turn with, and now check call the river with.
Right. Anything that could have showdown value, or that could pay off. Has he given up, or does he actually have something that Timoshenko, has now beaten?
And he has to be concerned as well. What if Mike check raises me again? It's not out of the realms of possibility.
On balance, 100,000 in the pot, but Timoshenko needs to win this heat. Doesn't want to waste value if it's there. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a small bet is probably the best thing to do here. Something like 40,000.
Amazing. I kind of get it more than I've ever got it.
That's 25,000.
Oh, that's just asking for it. And that's one of those bets where Timoshenko is actually, half of him is trying to induce, right? Sometimes you could induce a bluff here.
Yeah, you could do. I'm not sure he'd like it too much if Mike did it to him, but yeah, there are spots there where it looks like you're just trying to. It's too cheeky, Someone doesn't want to call with a bad hand. Now they just suddenly get tempted into raising.
Well, Mike tried one on Timoshenko. He was definitely up for it. And maybe Sexton's got a bit unlucky. I don't I don't know.
He could be.
Yeah, I mean, if Timoshenko doesn't turn a pair there, I'd like to see him call the check raise. I mean, he just happened to turn a pair.
50-50 to 66.
So the guy proved me wrong. I would have folded the turn there, and he called.
We'll be back with more action from the Playboy Club London as the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship continues after the break.
Welcome back. Final match of the Group B here in the Premier League Poker Mixed Game Championship. And James, that move, the Timoshenko versus Sexton pot, it's going to have ripples sort of throughout this heat, right? I mean, it's given Timoshenko a nice little boost.
Yeah, it's given Timoshenko a boost, and now everyone knows Mike's full of hot air. I mean, he obviously didn't have anything. He couldn't call 25,000 on the end. So.
Right. Yeah, you can't check raise the turn and fold for that kind of bet on the river.
He folded for a quarter of the pot, so we know anything. Wow, look at this, a couple of hands.
Yeah, now Carpenter's raised under the gun.
Don't play the dynamics, son.
Not playing the dynamics, my friend. Playing to win.
3 days to 15,000.
That's why I folded.
I'll even show you this time to prove it.
You will have to show me when I call you down.
There you go. I'll show you.
Say 3 plus, say 4 call.
Has Carpenter made a mistake here, or is it just such a cooler that he needs to call? I mean, he's in position, or do you think he's really missed an opportunity?
I think he's missed the spot here. Frankenberger's obviously got something when he 3-bets at the small blind here.
I'll just spite bust you if you start bullying me. I don't really care about going through.
Oh wow, look at this.
Let's go.
He's 3-bet with 10s, flopped his overpair, now checks it. So he thinks he's trapping. Look at this. They both think they're trapping.
If you check blind, I'll bet blind. That's not true.
They're way too deep. You know, but if you make a 4-bet there, you can start to really shovel money in.
Yeah, it's hard to stack pair of pair in just a 3-bet pot. Wow, okay, here we go. This is a bad card from here.
That call shut me up.
Well, what is has Carpenter has he started to talk himself into that he doesn't know where he's at? Is he sort of been doing so much acting that he hasn't really kind of tried to figure out?
Well, it's one of these spots, you know. He's as we say, under-repped his hand. His hand is not as is stronger than it looks.
Oh boy.
Oh wow. And I mean.
And now it's going to be now Carpenter's going to start feeling like it's a miracle he's not going to go broke here.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's checked.
I'm good, I think.
Check.
Well, I mean. Frankenberger's made a bit of a mistake there, I think. It's hard to get Carpenter to bet this river card.
Told you I'd show you.
I told you you'd show me.
That was an excellent line. I mean, I was at the worst end of it too, but
25. Did I lose like 50k then?
How much did I lose in this part?
Every hand I was in, I was just like,
We're talking about interesting hands. Ben's played quite a few of the more interesting hands in this
in the UK, in America,
mixed game as well.
Do you agree with
certainly in the first match, a lot of really weird hold'em pots he played.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not come to forward, has he? He's come to have some fun.
I'd rather buy a whole bottle for like 5x the time of glass. Race.
Say 2 days to 5,000.
But you would take
That's what, just like. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh wow, Timoshenko's got the bullets here, and let's.
Oh, again. Again, this has happened.
I mean, what's his idea here? Do you think?
My suitcase.
To be honest, I don't know quite what he's doing here. I mean, Frankenberger's raised. He's been raising a few hands.
Do you think he thought that there was a good spot for someone to squeeze behind, or is it?
I mean, that might be a consideration most of the time, but when the blinds are this low and the stacks this deep, that's far less likely. People aren't going to be squeezing. If there was a couple of stacks with 20 blinds behind them or something, then maybe. But this is a spot where it's less likely. Of course, as I say this, Andrew Feldman gets freaky with the 9-7, just to make me look an idiot. Right? I mean, Feldman does like messing around pre-flop, so maybe that's why Timoshenko has done this.
How beautiful is this?
This is again why Timoshenko is the best. And
this is why when everybody else does it, it's just why did they do it? And when Timoshenko does it, it's just works. And so now, do you hit the hammer home now, or do you put Feldman on being really weird here?
I think now you've got position, you're kind of selling a story of weakness. I'd call again. If you raise again here,
it's too polarized.
Yeah, I mean, Feldman's not going to do anything crazy. If you call here, you can let Feldman try and bluff you off what he might think is a hand like 8, you know, a king-queen suited maybe.
I mean, there are, you know, the interesting dynamics also is that Timoshenko, he needs to come first to win, but if he comes second, he can get through if Feldman or Frankenberger win. So there is that interesting dynamic that he wants to carry one of them along.
Well, as much as I think he's aware of when he can come second, I think he's just going to concentrate on trying to win. And
busting Feldman is not a terrible thing, right?
Yeah, if he wants the chips, he's going to focus on just trying to win the heat. And if he has some lucky get out that might work for him, then if that comes, great. But
I never know. Is that a poker face, or is that like a guy who just I don't know? Like
this is a guy his brain is just so big. It's taking so long for the messages to get passed through. I think. Again, I think he should call. He raises. And it'll probably work. No, I think Feldman's going to make it.
Yeah, guaranteed 2 aces there.
There we go. I mean, this is the thing. He looks like he's got aces when he does this.
Yeah, he was onto that.
I'm a pigeon. I'm not taking it. I'm not going to look even more on the TV.
I'll give you 3 to 1. I'll give you 4 to 1.
Wow. How about that?
This heavy bet.
I'm about. I can't say that. And then who's giving me 4 to? You'll give me 4 to 1.
That he didn't have aces. He's never got aces there.
4 to 1 is a very bold play.
Did you have an ace in your hand?
This is quite funny.
That has a big fact.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with your statement? Your statement was
he had an ace in his hand, Mike. You know that. He had an ace. He did.
Here's all you have to tell us. Do either one of us win the bet, or is it a push?
Hold on.
No. The market's still open.
Okay.
The market is open. So let's not close this market.
I think this bet might take the entire episode.
I hope so. And I want odds that Timoshenko's going to make money out of this, because you realize he's waiting. It's not that he's waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
He just right now it's really hard for him to get in because everyone knows if he bets that he knows what he has.
I folded an ace.
Yeah, I'm quite happy he is.
You know I folded an ace.
Everyone's thinking about he's played one hand and everyone's just talking about him.
On 10 pounds. We bet 10 pounds? 10 to 1? Okay, then stop saying you know what I have.
He knows what he had. It'd be good if you're leveling him and you had an ace.
I know he had an ace.
So take 10 to 1 that I did.
Wow, Timoshenko's hit another. He's hit a set.
And Ben's raised pre with ace 8 and put the straight draw.
And this is one of the reasons why Ben really should have 4-bet those kings. I know it saved him, but he is really splashing about here, isn't he?
Yeah, and the guys know he has to play first. They know he's not going to be sitting back.
You can't be a robot. When you talk to him, he can't think. His robot brain shuts down.
That's my vibe. That's what I'm picking up on.
You felt it, but
Come on, get it in.
For sure.
You got your double up. You can't lose.
This side, please.
Hell no. Why do you
Should Timoshenko be at all worried about swelling the pot now? Because
even if
you know the guy could have a pair and a draw. You just can't go like that.
He could have a pair and draw, but Timoshenko needs to win as well. Really, you know, that's what he's playing for. Yeah. He's got a set, and I'm sure he'll take the chance.
I want to give you 4 to 1. They didn't have aces.
He's probably going to call now and somehow manage to stack him anyway.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, just because
everything I've said. It's worrying. He's always right, and everything he's done is different to what I said. So.
No, it doesn't make any sense for him not to raise, does it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to raise. You know,
you can't really think of a reason why he shouldn't raise.
You're not going to abuse the fact.
Thankfully, I got one right.
And Ben actually has some reasons to re-raise here because he can't fold with the 8, can he?
I need to knock
no, he can't fold.
How am I ever folding there?
I do want to take a bet though. I want to get in Mike's side. I want to get in Mike's side.
Is that a good card? Ace 9, Ace 7.
He's a voice of poker.
He's not raising me.
This is going to be an awkward spot for him now because he could have been himself up against an 8 and a pair, and now he's beating all these hands. It's going to be hard for him not to lose more chips in this part. The question is, what does Timoshenko put him on to be able to bet this next card?
I know, but I like a sweat at the end of the day.
Right.
I do like a little sweat.
Yes, take the 4-1. It's not
I want to get in my side.
Andrew, it's not a bad bet.
I mean, there are some hands now that Timoshenko wants to call that would pass, but he's just checking. Betting is always going to be better, or
I think
overall?
I think betting is always going to be better.
But it's a little bit marginal now.
If you bet too small after raise, right?
Kings, ace, king suited, and ace and queens.
Okay, so it went from 100% aces to like 7 different hands.
Yeah, four hands.
Standard.
Is this a bad call with 2 pair? You got a set, right?
He's pretty good hand reader as well.
I think he's trying to get Timoshenko to check the river.
Smile, Yevgeny. It's not the end of the world. That's a bad card for 6-7. Oh my god, that's a bad card. Do you want to count?
Obviously, betting
Just say to them about 10 minutes around it, put $100
Sure. I didn't actually want to do it, but.
I'm the guy who retracts statements.
Right. It's fine to retract. It takes
Obviously, this is a great card for Timoshenko because he can easily think Ben's got a 9.
On a real count, yeah.
No, you know, Ben's raised before the flop, bet the flop and called a check raise.
160, 70.
He's asked for a count.
Wow.
And the answer is that it's not out of line for Timoshenko. If he bets pot, you know, it's basically, he can do that. It's Ben's stack.
And Carpenter's in the kind of spot where he's either going to call or he's not, and the bet size doesn't make a huge difference.
And how should Carpenter? I mean, is you know, the dynamics of this heat, you know, make me feel like Carpenter has to lean towards calling because these guys are so all or nothing, both of them.
Yeah, I mean,
and they have to climb on the other.
When Timoshenko bets this river card, the chances he's bluffing just plummeted. But Ben might talk himself into thinking, well, maybe that's why he's bluffing. You know, he might consider there's some dynamic going on that isn't there. I mean, Timoshenko's played this pot as honest as possible. He's check raised the flop with a set. He's bet the turn. He's bet the river. But you know, given the pot before where he had the aces, where no one knows he had the aces, where he looked like he might be bluffing, and Ben seemed adamant that he was bluffing.
There's such a good chance you've got like flop straight. Or
here we go. I mean,
he seems
to know that.
I beat A7 or A6. That's huge. Don't you hate it when you have to make a bad call, but you have to win the heat?
This one is, if Ben calls, he's going to be sick because he's got what it looks like he's got.
Yeah.
I think Ben should fold it. I hope he does.
Well, now he's got 182,000, and I mean, like.
Oh, he's going to hate himself for this.
So sick the way the board ran out for me, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he does hate it. I feel at the end of the day that he's looked at the mountain of climbing back from this, which was a short half stack, and he recognizes that it's a big mountain to climb back. Not only does he have to win, he has to win and still take Feldman or Frankenberger through. Neither of those guys are looking very, you know what I'm saying? He kind of.
Yeah, I think he's going to instantly regret this hand.
Mike, let him know.
2 or 3 outcomes put me through, so I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to be like banging as much putts, you know, knocking out the people I need to knock out.
I'm definitely happy that I saved my double up card for the last match because it's kind of like position in poker. Now I know how many points each player has. Now I know what they're thinking, what their strategy is, and what plays they have to come in to secure a final spot.
I think tonight I need to either win the heat or come second under 3 different scenarios. And, you know, so there's a chance that I can get through, but it was disappointing yesterday. Had I got one more spot higher when I used my double up card, if it had come first or second, I'd pretty much been through to the finals. So still got work to do.
Obviously, I'm not a favorite to advance, but I'm probably like a slight underdog. So if I win, I'm guaranteed a seat, so if I win, it's all over, and I'm fine with that, obviously. And but there's also many other scenarios where I could win as well without actually winning the sitting go.
As far as me, even if I know that I make it through, the chips still count. So I'd love to go in the final table with a tall stack. So I'm going to be playing to win once again.
Tonight I'm going in there as the guaranteed a seat in the final. So obviously it takes a lot of pressure off me, and I can play slightly more aggressive as I usually would. We'll be able to just sort of see what the other players are doing, and obviously I know that they're extremely intelligent and they're going to be going through every permutation possible, and I'll just try and use that to my advantage. And obviously I want to get the full 8 points so I can come to the final with as many chips as possible.
Welcome back to the Premier League Poker's Mixed Game Championship. There are still 6 at the felt as Group B fights it out to make the final table. It's Yevgeny Timoshenko and Andy Frankenberger who are using their double-up cards for this one, which will prove vital in determining the league standings. The pressure's on as we head back to the table.
Well, those are the points that'll be awarded in this final heat for Group B. And of course, Yevgeny Timoshenko eyes firmly on place number 1, 8 points. Interesting thing about how Sexton and Sorrell are going to be viewing Timoshenko is that
Probably not.
Yeah.
it's too early for him to be a danger, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, this is what we said before the heat. They're playing this game of trying to outlast each other, but they got to look over their shoulder. You know, Yev's coming. He's got a stack and he's coming.
I've seen a lot of horse races like that. Yeah, you think you only got to beat one horse.
Yeah, and then suddenly.
Who's that?
For sure. Oh, he's up to something here.
I don't know what he does with 6-7 actually. It's a good.
Raise to 16 down.
It's actually a good question what he does with 6-7 there.
And right, this is just an open from the button. No, sorry,
No,
Sexton's has he
Mike's
limped?
limped in under the gun, which I really don't like in this spot. I mean,
Right.
with Timoshenko having the button as well, he's going to take advantage of that so often.
I think there's this.
Wow, I don't like Andrew's call there either with the ace-9. I mean, he's playing this hand, you know, out of position
Is he
against
saying-
Yev, who has the momentum and you know, the skills.
Yeah, I mean, there's this thing like, you know, I know the guy on the button's going to try and punish the limper, but he just does it because he does it. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't mean...
It's one thing, you can't... Sometimes you're going to see stuff on the poker table that you know is going on, but there's nothing much you can do about it. You have to let other people do this. Calling them with ace-9 out of position isn't a way of slowing someone down.
A 3-bet would have been interesting, right?
A 3-bet's, yeah, I think. I mean, personally, I would let it go because it's early on and, you know, there's not a lot of need. But yeah, calling is the worst.
Now, Sexton. I mean, what does Sexton look? What does it look like he has? What will it look like he has if he check raises? What's it going to look like he has if he calls? He can't call, can he?
I mean,
what's he doing?
He could call. He could call with the view of if Yevgeny slows down, he could bet the river. You know, he could try and represent say King Queen or Queen Jack. If he calls here, Timoshenko will check back the turn. He can bluff the river, but. By raising, he only reps 3 7s or 4s. I mean, this is it. He's put himself in a spot by limping in. If he'd raised in the first place, he had a lot more option.
Right, he could bet, raise, re-raise, and pretend he's got ace queen.
Well, he's gone the check raise.
Boy, he is
number 2. He's after Timoshenko.
Definitely is. I thought he was after Frankenberger. Sexton's come. He's come for the Ukrainian.
He's looked at the lineup here. There's 5 players. He's chosen the best poker player with the most chips. He's thought this is the guy I'm going to go after. I mean, Mike's put him. Mike, in fairness, has put him in another spot here. I mean, he's got second pair and he's been check raised.
Right, he can beat air.
Yeah, I mean, he's beating bluffs.
And
he's called again. I mean, there's another spot where I wouldn't be liking it, but he's made the right decision.
Well, I don't want to see Mike miss, but I am really curious to see how far he's going to take this.
Oh wow, that's a big, you know, it's a big card, giving him a flush draw as well. If he wasn't sure about bluffing, that card makes it a lot easier for him to continue the line.
But if he has what he's repping, then a pot bet doesn't make sense.
No, but he can make out that he's got a queen as well. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a smaller bet, but he can make sense that he has a queen.
And that's what he's done.
That's a fantastic bet. 100 into 170. I mean, Yevgeny has to commit to the pot now if he wants to.
Wow, I mean, could Yevgeny call here? I mean, could Yevgeny really call here?
I mean, he can't call. Mike's got less than 100,000 back. I mean, he's really been put to the thing.
So
And he can't expect to fold either. He can't really expect Mike to be folding here, which he wouldn't be with this hand.
But he's expected this. And essentially, if Mike has a draw, I don't know how he could think Mike has a draw,
Yeah,
but then this is a blank.
There we go. I mean, that's brilliant. Given the hand before when he check raised and then gave up, so this time fire. It's really given Yevgeny no choice but to fold.
Look at Sexton. He has come to play. I mean, how much has he come to play?
Well, after the first one, I thought it might, you know, the failed bluff, but that was brilliant.
Wow.
I mean, if you take away the fact that Yevgeny had second pair, even if he's got a stronger hand there, if he's got aces on the turn there, it's a horrible spot.
I haven't given him a penny of it.
What if could Sexton have had aces or kings there, or was that just not part of his range at all? Once the queen comes, that doesn't make sense if he's got.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's representing having trip queens or better.
Wow.
But it was a spot where he couldn't have anything else. You know, he'd have to have a round above or 5-6, and how can he have 5-6? He's limbed and called a raise.
How great is that? I mean, I know, Luke Schwartz gave it a nice role in Group A, but I think Timoshenko and Sexton are just, you know, they're going for it.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope there's more of it.
I lose every time.
And now Frankenberger playing every hand, finds the aces.
What kind of odds can I get that he's got aces?
I think Andrew Feldman will offer you the price, then not lay you the bet.
No, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, what are you doing? I mean, I remember when he used to be really, really tight. Something's happened to him when he plays on TV that he feels he has to prove something to all the internet forums that say he can't play. He just goes out of his way to look crazy.
He's on a free roll here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing that it's just not necessary. It's level 2. You know, there's no need to be doing this.
And Frankenberger, I mean, he's seen Feldman snap fold a couple times, and he knows he's playing loose. So overall,
I mean, there's an argument for calling, but I like to raise here.
55,000.
I mean, Feldman's just being horrible right now. He's made 2 moves and both times up against the aces.
Both times, so I'm not exactly. We all know he needs fifth.
But this is the thing; it's not necessary. He doesn't need to be doing these things.
He doesn't get in on it. Here we go.
If he clicks it, you're folding there, yeah? You need fifth plus. Obviously.
I need first?
You need fifth plus, like.
I need? No,
I think you need fifth.
Me to advance?
Yeah.
I'm in second, bro. I need nothing. I need like.
Well, you're not
Frankenberger.
Yeah.
I like Andy's argument. I like Andy's argument. Bruv, I need nothing.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, you should have.
I'm in second. I need nothing.
He has to fall through. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Get some stuff, please. I'm not having
That's
any more
pretty
bets
cool.
about what Andy has. But I'm pretty sure he had aces.
I'd be just.
He's guessing aces again.
That time he probably did have aces.
Oh my god.
I think he's probably did have aces. Okay, what odds can I get that you both had aces in that particular
Wow.
spot?
Carpenter.
Isn't it amazing how Andrew Feldman, like when he first said that Yevgeny had aces, he was sounding so smart. And everything he said since then has diminished his status as a prognosticator.
You had no idea what he had, but he did have aces.
Nah, you're lying. You're lying.
You've had 20 minutes to bet.
Nah, you're
Like
lying.
$100.
You're going to sit on TV.
No, don't say that.
As far as Carpenter goes, he's on he's on a less than about a 20 big blind stack. I mean, is this spewy? Given his mission, does he just have to make something happen?
I mean, I guess it's okay.
You're either way.
Personally, I'd wait, but I mean, you may as well wait for the blinds to get a bit more, and you can start sort of generate a lot of action pre-flop over someone else's raise.
Right.
I don't really like Cyril's call here, given that Carpenter's only got 20 big blinds.
Do you like their chances of getting in on the flop?
I'm liking this flop from for our entertainment.
Cyril's problem is how can he get Ben to get the money in?
Well, I think Ben's bet small here, allowing Cyril to check raise. That's what Ben wants to see happen, because he knows that if he gets check raise on this board, Cyril probably doesn't have an ace. And Cyril knows it looks like he doesn't have an ace. What kind of ace is he calling a 20 big blind, stack open with? Cyril's very aware of stack sizes pre-flop. Played, thousands of tournaments online and live, and he knows that he can't be expected to have too many aces here in his hand. So I'm expecting to see a raise here. There we go, and Ben's just straight away all in.
Flush draw. Ace. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I have to take it.
Yeah.
I had a boat.
Can I just hit one thing instead of just running bad every time I get my money in?
You're
lucky I'm out of this hand.
That sounds good for me.
I had ace 3.
Well, Ben Carpenter's all in. He does have equity, but he didn't expect Mizzy to have an ace there. It's like it just goes like that sometimes.
Yeah, he's
7 deuce.
He's not run too good today.
I should have played that.
Has to be a spade and can't be a 10 or an 8.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. There we go.
Can't be bothered to shake everyone's hand, but good luck.
Well, I think Ben Carpenter, I think he's done a lot of great things this mixed game championship. This last heat, definitely nothing went his way.
No, yeah, he'll be disappointed. Obviously a low point tally, but he had to go for it today.
Yeah.
And go for it, he did.
That's the way it goes sometimes, and I was pretty happy with the way I played in the first, and like the second and third, like I have to go for first, so yeah, it's sort of better luck next time. But I was happy with the field, the structure, everything. Yeah, it was a good tournament.
Yeah, it really does change the strategy going into that. So, and thank you very much, and good luck in the next one.
Thank you.
Welcome back from the Playboy Club in London for the last league match for Group B, the Pot Limit Hold'em. This is the final chance for our players to accumulate points to make the final table. Back to your commentators, James Dempsey and Jessie May.
Survival the key right now for some of these players. Sorel Mizzy in particular, and with those 435,000, you reckon it would take a well-oiled crowbar to knock him out early in this final heat. Frankenberger, on the other hand, plenty more reasons to splash.
3 raised to 10,000.
Well, Timoshenko's raised this from the button, and
Feldman,
I don't get it. Please explain.
He's been 3-bet folding, and now he finds a hand that he definitely wouldn't be 3-bet folding, so he 3-bets to get it in, but then must have misclicked and ended up calling. I don't know what's going on. I think he just seems very confused at the moment. Well, it's going to work out. That's why he did it. He knew the ace was coming.
It's quite perfect. I mean, Timoshenko is going to have a lot of trouble putting him on an ace right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility. Wow. I mean, this guy is just perfect. This guy is perfect. This guy's about. I was about to say if he's a woman, I'd marry him.
Check.
How does he do this?
Don't do it. Please don't do it yet.
And Feldman, I mean, I like to play now. Once Timoshenko check back, check and let him bet now, because he's going to bet nearly all the time in this spot, whether he's got it or hasn't got it.
Right.
It would be really clever if he pulled out a really small check raise, but I think he'll check call and then maybe bet the river.
3, bet 13,000.
And why is that better than a check raise? Why is a check raise not a good play?
I think the check raise is better, but
I mean, you get the jacks.
That's the thing. He's going to get, if he has check back an ace, it's really hard for him to fold at this point. But now the check call and then a river lead would be nice, because Timoshenko's going to check back a lot of hands on the river here. You know, if he's got a jack, he's never going to bet it again. So it's a bet.
Check.
And what kind of hands can Timoshenko get to call him here? I mean,
if he bets, he's hoping a jack calls him, and I think that's a bit thin. When Feldman can have, you know, an ace, and he can have had the flush draw. Look at that. I mean, he's this guy's he's raised with ace deuce. Some have been called by one of the premium hands in poker. It's come ace high, and he's done one bet in this pot. He's done 3 big blinds. This guy is perfect.
That is.
Proud that I didn't bet.
At ace 10? At ace 10?
Yes, exactly ace 10.
Yeah, ace 10. Really?
How'd you know?
I don't know. Sorry.
Did you see my cards?
No.
Like, because you've been spot on every single time.
Do you really have ace 10?
Like to the suit. How do you guess jack 10 to the suit?
Wow, it was pretty.
I'm impressed, man.
Nah, you're lying. You're leveling me.
I bet you the 100 that one, you didn't have an ace.
You're reading me perfect, so it's not a question of whether I had ace 10, it's a question of which suit I had with ace 10.
Okay, I'm going for ace of spades, 10 of hearts.
No. You got the ace right.
My reads on hands are usually spot on.
I don't know about that.
Yeah? What are you trying to say? That I'm a fish? What are you trying to say, Evgeny? No, say it. Speak your mind.
I'm trying to say.
You're trying to say I'm a fish? My reads have been pretty good. I usually, my hand...
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Wow, Yevgeny, he's just slaughtering today. He's
unbelievable.
slaying. He's killing this table. He's just I've never seen him in such good form. Here he is.
Mike's the quietest guy at the table. Like the voice of poker hasn't said a word.
Yevgeny Timoshenko has 1 point. He's been hammered this championship, and here he is with a big smile on his face, just destroying this table.
So Herman's raised again.
And just curious, that call by Mike, would you have preferred a 3-bet because of how tight he's been and because of how loose Andrew's been?
Yeah, or especially with the stack size. It's just 3-bet or fold. In especially the situation where he's trying to get up the point ladder here.
I mean, Sexton's he's probably had a plan to make plays on a lot of flops that he misses and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but
still, right?
At this point, you can just 3-bet if he, you know, just 3-bet. Give yourself an extra chance of winning the pot.
And now, what is the chance that Mizzy is squeezing here with nothing? I know what he's got, but would it have made any sense?
No, I don't think so. With Andrew's not really got too much of a care, and he would like to see a pot between Andrew and Mike. So he's not going to dissuade the action.
And Sexton's called here, I think, partly because he feels like he has to play pots against Mizzy. And now,
I mean, I don't like the call, but if he could see his hand, he definitely would call against Ace King, and now things are going to get a bit messy. They both flopped a draw.
Mike's played his draws aggressively.
Yeah.
It won't be any different.
And there's no reason to not do that here.
Right. And Mizzy, of course, just delighted to get it in.
Yeah, I mean this is a really key pot here for the whole tournament.
Mizzy's, he wants to know how much Mike is playing. The answer is going to be that Mizzy has got about 100K more.
290.
But it's like 300 versus 400. So is there any chance that Mizzy should practice pot control? He doesn't know what Sexton has. You got to bet.
When you 3-bet with Ace King suited, you flop the flush draw. You're not thinking about keeping the pot small.
No, you just have to go with this. And he's actually quite a massive favorite if the money goes in here, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you could see the hand, you'd be delighted. And I think because of this situation, Mike might just call here. And yeah, for sure he does. He doesn't want to have to get it all in here.
Because of what situation?
Because of the fact that Sorel's 3-bet rather than just a standard raise. You know, he might have an overpay. Wow, they both make the draw.
Yeah, but it's over then. I mean, Mike. Wow. There's no way Mike can get away from this.
No, I mean he's just got to hope somehow it doesn't go on the turn and the spade comes on the river or something.
But Mike has to want to. If Mike doesn't want to get it all in right now, he's not a poker player.
Yeah, and he looks like he's gonna lead here. Yeah, I mean.
He's
only losing to a flush, and how can Sorel have a flush? He's the 3-betted pre, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him lead here because Sorel will be checking back a lot of hands once that spade comes in.
And Mike knows that.
Mike knows that, which is why there you go. He's reaching for chips. He's going to bet. Now the question is, what does Sorel do? Does he, does he raise, hoping that Mike's got a made hand like he has?
What else would Mike be betting here?
We'll say Mike might have
jacks with a queen of spades.
Yeah, exactly that. Queen jack with queen of spades. Jack 10 with 10 of spades.
But what if Sorel had the Ace King with 1 spade?
What would Mike think he would do, or what he should do?
He would be shoving.
Yeah, I mean, but would he? I mean, Mike looks pretty strong here, which is another case of maybe Sorel will just raise because he thinks Mike isn't folding. I think it'd be a really tough spot. Sorel just had 1 spade in his hand. I mean, Mike looks like he might have a flush. If you weren't sat there holding the Ace King of spades, you'd be willing to believe this guy has the nut flush.
I'm willing to believe he has the nut flush.
Even though you can see he's got the 10-8 of diamonds.
And
yeah, brilliant. He's called.
Yeah,
it's the right unless a spade comes,
right?
Mike's dream is over. Let's see a spade.
Mike thinks he's ahead.
Yeah, Mike's loving it. Mike's thinking no spade, but we need to see the spade. Well, that's a bad card for Mike, in the fact that he thinks he might lose some action. But at no point does he think he's behind now. This is horribly unlucky.
It is, and Sexton's played great. He had to take some chances as far as like gamble a little bit with hands, find flops against the right kind of guys, and he's been cooler.
Yeah,
made it great.
I mean, this hand, I mean, the pre-flop play is questionable, but now, wow, he's going to absolutely throw up when he gets raised here.
I mean, when Mizzy moves in here, it could be a king-queen, but Mike can't fold anyway.
105,000, seat 1 all in.
And Mizzy's, I think Mizzy's announced all in. I think Mizzy's announced all in.
Yeah. And now look, Mike's shaking his head. He knows this is ridiculous. He knows Sorrell's not doing this as a bluff, and he's not doing just an 8. You know, if he thinks long enough and hard enough about it, he might fold. I mean, it's one of these spots where you know you should fold, but you're so sick if you're wrong that you never end up folding.
It's so similar to the two pots, not similar, but where he's stuck here on the river. They've raised them all in, and now the pot's so big.
This is the story of his Premier League.
This is the story of his Premier League.
He's just been. He just sat here scratching his head, not knowing what's going on.
And the irony of the whole thing is that, you know, Mike has probably over the course of his poker career been one of the guys who can make bigger folds than anybody else at the table at any time.
And I'll tell you, the thing grating him here is this pot's going to Sorrell. Yeah. That's the thing that's really hurting him.
Right. And because of that, I mean, like, you know, if he folds here, he has to beat. Yeah, I mean, he
has to somehow come back from no chips.
It's so hard.
Enough calling.
I mean, that turn card was brutal.
He knows what Sorrell's got. He doesn't even think it's a straight anymore. He knows it's a flush.
Yeah, he knows he's got the flush. He knows he's got the flush, but will he fold? I mean,
oh. He plans to move all in without a flush here. No way you think I can fold this. If you find that good to raise it without a flush here, you ought to win this pot.
Oh, wow. Look, here we go. Go on.
I made a straight on the turn.
Wow. What a fold.
Go on, Mike Sexton. Go on, Mike Sexton.
Wow.
How do you not have heartstrings pulled now?
This guy.
There can't be, if Mike wins this, there won't be a dry eye in the house.
This guy, that is just fantastic. Look, Sorrell's thinking, how is he folding? He's found the only guy in the entire tournament who's going to fold. But, you know, he thought through it. The longer he thought about it, the more he raised. How can he raise with anything but a flush?
I just heard some conversation earlier.
I will say this, I did have the ace of spades.
If you're good enough to raise it without a flush there, but I only got this little bit left.
Then good luck to you.
You ought to win it. That's all I can tell you.
Go on,
That's
Mike.
exactly right, Mike. That's
Go
exactly
on,
right. If
Mike.
he's good enough to bluff you there, you're getting bluffed. Fantastic.
You deserve it.
Sorrell saying thank you, making out that he was bluffing, you know. Oh, thank you, yeah.
I'm moving in for this little bit of money.
C2 raised to 10,000.
You could add ace.
Oh, wow.
Frankenberger.
What's up?
Offered it again.
Is it just because the last hand took so long that he just kind of...
He's getting bored, you know.
It is possible.
C3 call.
Go again.
Oh,
wow,
boy.
okay, let's see. Well, Feldman's definitely going to 3-bet this one, surely, because it looks squeezy. He's been squeezing. This is one he has to 3-bet. And yeah, and he's gonna get a horrible situation because I don't think Timoshenko's going to be calling.
37,000.
Right, and I mean, should Timoshenko's got 4, Andrew's got about 250. Are they a little too deep for Timoshenko to be wanting to get it in here?
No, I think Timoshenko's going to want to get it in here.
It's 60.
He knows,
it's 60 big blinds.
Yeah, but it's this weird dynamic that Feldman's building up by doing a lot of these odd 3-bets.
I think this is kind of marginal, isn't it? Because Timoshenko realizes once he starts to raise, he cannot raise fold, right?
He's committing himself
very,
if he
very
raises
tough.
here.
So, I mean, how bad is calling?
It's not. It's definitely better than folding.
It's definitely better than folding.
Yeah, he's got position and he's got a good hand. I mean, and it's the kind of hand where